Welcome to FMA Talk Live. I'm your host, Datu Tim, and this is my wonderful co-host,
PG Ty. Welcome.
So, right off the bat, first of all, everybody, all of our guests have made it. Yes, I see you, Mike and May. Excellent. I'll be bringing everybody in a minute. So I've got a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, we had a wonderful event this weekend. We, meaning Ty, but I crashed it, which I try to make his events. He does 2 events a year. Can you tell us a little about that event?
Sure. Yeah, it's just a local and adjacent, if you will. Anybody who wants to come and play and train supporting FMA, it's just us getting together in a park with some food and some training and just good attitude of sharing. And I got lots of comments along that, even more than normal this time. Everybody appreciated that familial kind of no ego kind of, hey, this is interesting, let's try it type approach.
You know, and we have new people show up this time.
We did.
Grandmaster Carlos Patalinghug, he had 2 of his people show up.
Yeah, Master
and they're like,
Matt and Kim.
Yep. And Matt and Kim, great. I was actually on their black belt test, or I got to watch their black belt test.
Excellent.
You know, and I talked to them in the parking lot as they were leaving. And they're telling me, I go, yeah, you get to tell everybody who was there. I was like, yeah, well, we usually keep this kind of close to the vest with these things because we've gone to events in the past that really didn't turn out well. And he goes, this one was spectacular. We're looking forward to the next one. You know, they wanted to come and vet the event, which, you know, you can't blame them.
Sure.
There's so many events out there. I go, there was no ego. Everyone was sharing. What I'm going to do, speaking of sharing, I'm going to share the screen. It's on my Facebook page. I was tagged in it by PG Ty. So how many people throughout? So for everyone, it starts at like 9 a.m, goes till, how late did you go?
We did go till just before 6, but there was just a handful of us left. I think the cold took its toll, but at the peak we had continue, you know, at the same exact time. I think it was 43 I counted. There might have been a different peak, but I was busy running things. So that's the best count I had. But overall, it was well over 50, almost 60 people total throughout the day, which was wonderful.
Well, and then you had Mr. Rogers show up. He was flying to Mexico the next day, but he came by and stopped in.
That was a wonderful surprise. I was not expecting him because he normally presents and brings a ton of cool stuff and a ton of good
Patrick's
experience.
Amazing.
And I didn't expect him because I didn't hear anything about him. So that was a nice surprise. I told him he made my day. But yeah, that kind of attitude of just support is just wonderful. And he and Styles are really good about that.
So I want to talk about this real quick because everyone hears me talk about business all of the time. We talk about business, talk about being professional, all this other stuff. We talk about doing the thing. This is an event that I donate my time. So this was Easter weekend. Janice and I hopped in the car. By the way, I found some shortcuts on the way back. So we'll talk about that in the future before you come up to Buffalo.
Sure.
Drive time is about 6.5 hours for me. We left first thing Friday morning. Did some stops on the way there. Friday night, got something to eat. Saturday, showed up. Probably, I was about 1:30, 2 o'clock when I was done.
Yeah.
And then, then we went out and got some food, went back to the hotel, and then 7:30 in the morning, I drove home. I spent my own money on gas. I paid for my own hotel. The only thing that Ty did, he bought everyone food. We made sure we had pizza, and people made a donation towards that. Now, of course, he made some swag for me. He's got some nice QR. He did a bunch of 3D printing stuff for me. But the thing here is, I talk about retention events that keep people in the art. This is one of those things. We need to do recruiting events, which we get in front of people who don't do Filipino martial arts. And I made a point during my session, is anyone that's the first time? One kid, he just started maybe a week. I go, welcome to the family. And we got to, and I told him it was a dysfunctional one at best. Yeah. So, but these are the things we need to do. There's 2 tiers. There's recruitment and retention. I talk about the business because we got to think about this, the long-term game. But this is an event. I try to go to both of his events. He does this twice a year, doesn't charge a dime, asks for a donation to pay for the rental of the structure and to pay for food. So sometimes he's doing all the cooking. This time he did some cooking and ordered in. How many pizzas did you order in?
6 pizzas, plus we had a couple 3-packs of hot dogs and stuff. So.
And you had a whole bunch of water. You know, you're buying pizzas
water
of
chips
water
and everything. Yeah. And I think Rose brought donuts and
yeah, I know. I had one. So
that was very grassroots. I really appreciate that.
This is an important event. It's a very good event. Okay, Rich Parsons from Detroit or Flint, Michigan, north of Detroit, says hello. Excellent. And then Terrell, who was one of the people presenting there.
First person out the gate.
There we go.
And this is the first one where my son had two of his friends come train with him. So he was off working with them and helping them adjust so he could actually own it a little better. So that was wonderful.
And okay, here we go. Looks like there's going to be a DOS Modern Arnis seminar coming up. We'll be talking about that.
Excellent. Cool.
Or a World Modernist Alliance seminar with our DOS brothers.
There you go.
So, so let me see here. I want to talk about next week's show real quick and then get in the show because our guests are all waiting patiently.
Yep.
And if May, we don't want May to have to put up with us any longer than she has to. She's chuckling in the background. And then Darren, another person.
He was there too.
There you go.
Yep.
So next week's show, we're going to talk about the relationship of the Praces brothers. Now, as always, I talk about things that I know about. I have some inside information. Recently, it's been brought up. So Friday night while I'm down there, I get a message from someone in the Combatant community because somebody in the Modernist community was making comments saying that the Praces brothers hated each other and Remy did all this other stuff. I'm not gonna ruin next week's show about this, but I have personal inside information that's verified and verifiable. Okay, but here's the thing. Let's say the information was accurate. Why do we have to bring it up that way? How does this help the legacy of the Praces family? So let me talk about one thing. We talk about Modernist Combatant and Henigran Arnis de Mano. Remy created Modern. His two brothers had their own arts. Whether we could go one of two ways. We can say, Remy said, no, you can't use my name and you can develop your own thing. Or, flip side, both brothers did create their own unique style that merited being its own unique system. Okay? Systems. Their expression were different than their brothers, and it was different from what he was teaching. Let's focus on the positive, the growth and the development, not necessarily whether or not Remy said, stop using my name or not. And this is the kind of stuff, and it really annoys the hell out of me when I see this stuff. And people in the modernist world making these comments specifically, shut your damn mouth and stop talking about stuff you don't know about. Yeah, and these are the kind of guys that I would throat punch. Actually, I'd probably do a lot more than throat punch face to face because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now,
well, there's no reason to stir things up, especially when the people aren't around to edify things.
Ernesto's been gone for a decade. Remy's been gone for over 2.
It's done.
What kind of bullshit is this? I mean, how the hell is this helping anything? You know who I'm talking about. Shut your damn mouth and make sure you don't show up in front of me. I'm telling you that right now. It's not a threat. I don't make threats. I make statements and guarantees. All right. So, okay, let's get into the show. Because next week, you know what I'm going to be bitching about. But today, it's a celebration. This weekend is the Buffalo Niagara Martial Arts Festival. The weekend after is the Martial Arts Symposium in I don't know where our new location. We're north of Manchester, New Hampshire. And this will be phase 2 of the FMA Invasion. We are taking over. So, in no particular order, I've got Mike and May Williams, who have been part of that event. Okay, we've got Steve LaFave, who's been part of that event for a while. Dean Franco, which was the most junior as of last year, but now
to the group.
And now Dean's gone up a notch because we have the latest member from the West Coast, Suru, Jason, and I of the Anaya Eskrima system.
That's awesome.
Lady and gentlemen, how the hell you doing?
Doing great.
Doing great. Out to Tim.
All right, and then Renee, here we go. What's Tim pissed about today?
Tune
Too
in
late, I
next
already
week.
said it.
Tune in next week and you'll find
Next week, I'll tell the modern artist world where to shove their sticks. And if they can't figure that out, I will do it for them. Craig Mason, all the way up from Sudbury, Ontario, 6 hours north of Buffalo. Not quite the polar bear region, but, you know, it's close enough. We've got from Connecticut, Matt Jones is saying hello. Let me see. Why you asked Ty to cut his hair? Okay. You start to look like
It is,
okay.
yes.
I don't know.
There we go. I just got mine cut today, so I had to go that way. There's a lot of. Let me see. There's a theme here for some of you guys. Not Jason, Dean, and me. We don't have the chromosodomus thing going on, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's the
Bailey
length
says,
of time. It's the length of
"Hello,
time. you're in the
lady and
symposium.
gentlemen." Listen, if Jason goes bald, it's a choice. It's like Dwayne Johnson, but different. Craig Mason, looking forward to seeing everyone soon because Craig is coming down to Buffalo and going to the symposium with me.
Excellent.
Nice.
And then
Fantastic.
Steve Benko, how you doing, sir? So, wow. Well, Steve, you're the only one I don't really talk to regularly. We don't see a lot, but I've been seeing, I see Mike and May. They come to my camp. Jason, we were hanging out in Reno somewhat recently and in Vegas. Can't get enough. And there were two separate trips. Dean, he's kind of taken over our show, or Ty is gonna kind of, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of like this happens. And then where did Ty go? Oh, he's back in there, and then we do it again, and he ends up in a new place. I don't know. He's kind of. I'll put Ty back up where he belongs, and I'll do the little shuffle here and there. We'll put Miss May in the middle because she's the pretty one here.
She brings us all up.
Yeah. I'll put her above PG Ty. There we go. So, and as usual, this we. It is. We have a whole bunch of character here. Characters. It's kind of one of the same.
That's all we have.
So, real quick, this is the FMA Invasion. It's a thing I branded because we started having a much bigger presence of Filipino martial arts at the Martial Arts Symposium, and I wanted to point it out. And this is for a non-Filipino martial art event. This has probably got the highest concentration of FMAers at an East Coast event. Mr. Franco, I'm going to ask you on that because you, as doing everything with FMA discussion and our show, you seem to have a lot of good context. Do you think that statement is fairly accurate that I just put out there?
As far as East Coast?
If we're talking about the concentration of FMAers at a non-FMA event.
Oh, yeah. I think that's fair. Sure.
Okay. So this is one of the premier destinations for a multi-style for Filipino martial artists on the East Coast.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair statement. Yeah.
All right, my other my co-host, my other co-host, the four-legged one, Ty. I'm going to mute myself because I think you need to take over for a little bit.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm hoping to that'd be good. No, I'm hoping that you guys will do all the talking. People are sick of Tim and I by now. So what I want to do is first off, welcome Sir Jason to the group. I think that's a great ad, and I appreciate you coming all the way.
Yeah.
How did that come
Thank you
about,
very much.
sir?
I was just chatting with Tim. I think that it wasn't in Reno. I think it was in Vegas. We were just chatting about stuff that we're trying to work on. I'm just coming out of hibernation from COVID over the last 18 months and really trying to ramp up because I was pretty busy before COVID, and then I just kind of stopped just before COVID, and COVID hit, and I was a hermit, just like everyone else. So
Right. But you're out and about now. But do you travel that far normally? That's pretty cool. I'm glad you're willing to do that.
yeah, typically like prior to COVID, up to about 2017-ish, I was active here in the U.S. And Asia and Europe.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I know Tim had you at his place one time. That's when we met, which is cool. No, that's good. I'm glad you're getting back out there again. I'll jump to Steve here too, because as Tim said, we don't hear from you a whole lot. So what's been going on with you real fast? And what are you thinking that you want to share with the group up in New Hampshire?
Sure. Yeah, I haven't been. I've been teaching a lot still, as you can see. I'm at the basement training area down here. But I took a kind of a different position at work, so I had been traveling a lot, and so it was getting kind of difficult. So I apologize not staying in touch as much as I should. But that's going to change because I am actually planning on doing a lot more FMA events over the next several months. So that's going to be good. And for this one, I was thinking maybe do some Lagomano, the way we interpret it, play off Dean and some Kalisa Lestissimo, and see how Mike and May and sort of Jason, I've never got to train with you, so it'll be great to have that opportunity, picking up new skills and sharing back and forth. So it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to this event. And Tim, just so you know, it's at Waterville Valley.
There we go.
Beautiful area, by the way. I go climbing up there. Mount Tecumseh is a beautiful area. It's really nice. I think everyone's gonna like that area. It's got all the scenic area things to do. There's a pool, hot tub, and ski resort up above it. But right now it's like 75, so most of the snow is getting pretty much toasted today.
So Frank Shikowski says hello. And then Renee says, good evening, ladies, gents, and Tim. And then follows up with, because it's always good evening, everybody, and Tim. And then he follows up with, he's got the Brady Bunch theme playing in his head right now.
Nice.
Cool. So I don't have the schedule yet. I mean, all I know is, and listen, here's the thing. There's going to be things going on all day. Friday night, a couple of us going to be doing some things. Then Saturday, then Sunday, and then what happens is I just tell Terry, just put me in, coach, and tell me where I'm going and what I'm doing. So, here we go. Will you be quiet? Stop it. We got here, Ty. You talk. I'm going to be muting me.
Yeah. So I think all of us probably gave Terry some. Ideas about sessions you want to do. I hope everyone did, but I wanted to touch base because this is actually spanning all over the U.S. with Jason over on the West Coast, Tim way up in New York, me down in Virginia. We've got Dean in Connecticut, and Mike and May. You are again, just so you can tell everyone.
Salem, Massachusetts, right near Boston.
Boston. We got friends there. Great. And Steve again. You are. Tell everyone.
Just out. I'm in New Hampshire, so I'm just north of where Terry is. Yep.
Right. So we're coming home to you.
Yes.
All right.
Great state of New Hampshire.
Well, by the way, any one of you, by the way, if you're out here, want to do anything or need a base for anything, your home is my home. We're again, this invasion is invasion of family. So that's how I look at it.
And then we have Black Scorpions Sikaran Arnis International from the Philippines says, "Oh, Harold, how the heck are you doing, sir?"
Good.
So we'll probably have Grandmaster Unyo of Lenata Kuntao show up.
It's his birthday yesterday or today.
Yeah. So, usually pops in, so we'll get to wish him happy birthday. We're not singing it, by the way.
No.
I don't know how to sing that in Tagalog anyway.
Not this group.
Maligayang kaarawan. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So, and there's going to be other FMA people. Now, I want to talk to everyone about this real quick for those who are watching. There are a bunch of so this event has some very top tier instructors at it. A lot of these guys can easily be doing seminars of their own, but they're not because they're running full-time schools, they're running businesses. So because when we look at all these different people doing different things, people are like, well, who are these guys? I've never heard of them. Well, maybe it's because you've never gone to that area. There's a lot of hidden gems around, and just because someone's not doing seminars nationally or regionally doesn't mean they're not good. It just means that they've got other things going on. When I pulled Jason and when I started working with him, he was not known in my region. That's not why I brought him out. I saw talent. I said, you got to come to me. Or, well, not come to me. You got to come out to my place and show these people. Yeah, no, you got to come to me. So I went to you, then you got to come back. Actually, the funny thing was, Jason and I were Facebook friends, and we're talking back and forth. And I got talking and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be at Palin Sama. We should be there. Okay, sure, no problem. I'm sitting at a table talking, not even knowing who he is, because he had purple or pink hair at the time, which I didn't think anything would have that kind of color hair. But and then after and of course every guy in the room was jealous because he had dropped that gorgeous girlfriend with him at the time. He's got a better one now. So the thing here is, I'm talking to this guy for like 40 minutes or so. He takes off and all of a sudden, Jason is really cool. Jason who? Jason and I. Where is he? You were talking to him the last 45 minutes. I'm like, because when you speak on, listen, when you talk to people on this during Facebook Messenger, you get a thumbnail the size of a fingernail. It is a thumbnail, literally, you know. And I've never seen him and talked to him. And then the very next day, he did some presentation there. We all were teaching. I'm like, all right, no. We need the East Coast to see some of what Jason's doing, because there was just really no, you know, the Anayan, the Serrata, the Bahalana, all those arts. There's very few of that family out here on the East Coast. And you know, and Jason and I got along really, really well. I like the idea, you know, someone younger pushing the envelope, and we know who his father was, so you can't get much closer to the source. And we had a blast. We went to the falls and hung out and did some training, and we've, you know, been a whole bunch of do a whole bunch of things. We're constantly hanging out with each other on the road, and I want to do it more. Obviously, COVID put a little hamper on that. Let me see here. Some teach only a handful of students in secrecy. Okay.
True.
Yep.
Always happens.
Exactly. Yep. So, you know, like I said, this event has a lot of top tier people, you know, a lot of people who are, well, I mean, hidden gems. I mean, you know, once again, you might be known in a circle, but I look at all you guys. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, okay, I knew of Mike and May because I knew of Mike. I'm sorry. I found out about May through Mike. I knew Mike because of the Modern Ace history. All right. Steve, I didn't know who the hell Steve was. And then Terry introduced us together. And Dean, we started talking. I go, hey, listen, your podcast, is there, or your vlog, is there a podcast version so I can listen to my car? Now look at us. Look at this. I mean, here we have this extended. I mean, then there's Ty. We don't want to talk about the music. So
He's down south. We don't care.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing here is, all people who could do seminars all the time if they wanted to, that aren't. I mean, the top tier presenters, you know, and so I never overlook or take for granted people when I'm in the area, because I'm like, okay, who's the guy in this area? Good chance that guy is somebody good. You know, they're just maybe not on the road. That doesn't mean anything. So
you never know. You gotta let it play out and give it a chance.
It's a cycle too, because sometimes you get burned out from being on the road all the time. You know, I mean, I spent right after my father passed, I was probably going hard for 15 years, like gone 2 to 3 weekends out of every month, all over the place. I knew hotel living better than I knew living at home for a long time. So it gets a little tiresome.
Okay. Let me see here. Harold, just like me, I only taught my children, cousins, and relatives before until we were exposed to tournaments and they won. Matt, go ahead, sing, Tim. I have your pleasure. Then Nathan. Hey, how you doing, Nathan?
Very good.
See you all in a few weeks. Looking forward to it. Yep.
Speaking of another very good martial artist.
Yeah, and then here you go. Then some teens and children came to study. I cannot refuse to teach them since it's my passion. I keep them. Yep, there we go. Keep them away from vices. So, let me see here. Who should we pick on, Ty? I'm gonna let you pick on.
I think we should pick on Sir Jason again, because just because he's a good addition, and he's
the new guy.
Overjoyed. Yeah,
new guy.
I'm the FNG. I'm the FNG.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? I mean, I'm pretty excited about coming out there. I haven't had a chance to teach in that area. I've taught in New York, taught in Pennsylvania, I've taught in Florida, right? I've taught in New Jersey, but I haven't actually had a chance to be even near the Boston area, let alone in New Hampshire. So that's pretty exciting for me to, you know, get to know the people. Of course, you know, I like hanging out with Tim. And, you know, the last time I came out and I met Ty, it was a great experience. You know, I've known Dean for a little bit here and there. We don't really cross paths, but I took one of his podcasts. So that was a good experience too. So I'm looking forward to actually meeting you in person, Dean.
Same here. Thank you.
Exciting. So
I think
I don't know.
Tom interviewed you, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah. Tom Pena. Yeah, he interviewed me. I don't know. Was that last year? I think that was last year.
I think so. I think it was at least a year ago. Yeah.
We should put that in the
Jason,
comments so people can go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you planning on teaching, Jason?
Terry sent me the thing, and I don't even know what I said to him. I was like, I could teach Serrata, I could teach the full system, and then I have the other system that I founded as kind of like a proof of concept for something that, I'm an instructor under my uncle Dan in Asanto too, and he's saying some stuff about how, arts, the ultimate art would be this mixture of things. So I founded this Spider Dumont system out of that comment because my father said can't add anything that isn't Filipino to the family system. So I said, okay, that's fine. But I drew out all the analytical and academic material out of the family system, and then I'm applying those concepts and ideas to things that are not necessarily Filipino. But I know it's weird. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but like, if I'm a Filipino in the 1500s and I saw a Slovak guy on the the deck of a Spanish galleon, right, and I was a slave or whatever it was, like Jose, the navigator for Magellan, who was actually Filipino and helped him discover the Philippines, right? And I saw some French Slovak guy fighting in heels, and I saw it work. That's going to be Filipino now, right? As far as like just the pragmatism that we approach Filipino martial arts with. So Terry asked me what I teach, and I said I could do this, I could do that. It just really depends. I never know how I'm going to approach a class until I see the people, what they're looking at, and I also try to compliment my colleagues in what they're teaching, as opposed to say, well, that was cool what Tim did, but let me show you how to do it right. I'm never that, I've never liked that kind of thing, or even just let me riff on what you're doing and the one-upmanship that I've experienced on the behalf of others. And I never liked receiving that. So we all have our opinions, and the thing is that, to feel like you're good at something and to have confidence in it sometimes bleeds into overconfidence. And that conviction is important, right? Because like, if you don't believe in the thing that you're doing, it's not going to work anyways. It could be geometrically and as far as physics concerned, a terrible technique. But if you have more belief than your opponent, a lot of times you can power through that, right? So, what I'm going to teach, I'm going to try to complement and learn from my colleagues and present a good experience for all the participants. I think that's the most important thing. None of those people are going to become my students. It's very unlikely, right? So I should just put the best face forward and the best foot forward for the Filipino martial arts community, right? That's probably how I'll approach that.
Perfect.
Well, the one thing you said about the confidence, I got to say this. I would hear plenty of stories about Remy, and obviously this channel has been founded on about modern Ernest and Remy Praces. And I was told many stories by different instructors how Remy would take material that was questionable at best, but he was so confident. He was the Billy Jack of the FMA world. I'm going to put this Olis upside your head.
and there's nothing you can do about it.
There's not a dang thing you can, and you know what? And I've seen him do stuff similar to that nature, like, Remy, you can't do that. Yes, I can. Watch. Boom. God damn it. So let me get caught up here.
We got Miguel Ruby on there. Do you see?
Got a bunch of things here.
Yep.
So let me see here. Renee, because we always I only teach people that know the secret password. Okay, so like Fight Club, but different. And then Miguel Ruby says hello from the Rancho Cordova.
I love him. He's an awesome person.
Guy. Yes, he is. He's
Miguel.
awesome. We'll see him. Then my brother Jason, Chad Bailey says hello. I loved that you sat with my wife and I at the Soki Ship Awards, and then when they told you to move to your table, they said, "No, I'm staying here." That's okay. There we go. Good.
There you go.
And then here, you know what? Here we go. I got a fanboy here, Jason.
Perfect.
Renee thinks it was episode 355.
No, that's Renee's episode.
Oh, is that what it is?
So Renee likes his, and much credit to Renee. Renee's episode did go over 2 hours, and it was a very enlightening 2 hours. But Renee likes to showcase that episode 335 or whatever. I'm sorry, whatever it was, 355 or 335 was significant.
Very smooth. I like it.
Well, okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna check something. So you, Ty, keep going to our next.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't want to quite go next yet. So Jason, as you come out here, first off, I think we're all one of the things. I don't even know who's going to have necessarily sticks or not. So what would you tell people to make sure that they have? Probably 2 sticks, 1 stick, knife. I'm not sure. I know you could riff on whatever.
Honestly, I think I might approach it with Serrata, honestly, which would be single stick, right? Like in the generation that I represent, because there's lots of different generations, the Cabal Serrata Eskrima system was largely, as far as structure concerned, designed by my father, right? And it was which leaves a heavy influence on West Coast FMA in general. But the generation itself that my father is from is the first group. So you're talking about a 26, maybe 28-inch stick, much longer stick. There are many techniques that Grandmaster Cabal has taught that you really need that length of stick. So, and I don't know much, though I do respect that there is a different version with the 18-inch stick or the 19-inch stick or something like that. So those is already good. But honestly, the motto for my family system, the United System of Eskrima, is instantaneous adaptation. So I'll just adapt to, what people have, right? Because sometimes you got to use what's at hand as opposed to what you prefer. And that's how, like Steve's system, Kogo Toto's, anything goes, right? So let's just make it work, right? I just want people to have fun, right? That's the most important part. But probably Serrata, that'll be fun. And the thing is that Serrata doesn't have a big footprint on the East Coast. Right. And it was, one of the first popularized FMA systems or styles in the United States. Wasn't the first, according to my Uncle Dan. That's Kabawarawan, which was in Minneapolis in the 1940s. Yeah, Minneapolis.
Well, that's one of the other things I like. That people will find this hopefully just as nice as I did. You bring a lot of information, background information with what you're showing. You're showing good stuff, and you're giving plenty of stuff to work with. But at the same time, you're giving the rest of the story a lot of times, and I really appreciate that. That is awesome.
I try to, like my dad was all about I had to learn about everybody from that generation and my generation as much as possible to know who the players were. He felt that showed a respect and a passion for the art, to understand that there are other systems and each one is right in their own way, right? And to be able to let your students know who they are. How could you not know what modern Arnis is? How could you not know what Dose Par is, or even Balintawak for that matter, right? How could you not know the West Coast Eskrima scene, or FMA scene, if you will, which is so very different than the East Coast, like if you're in the US where, as much as there's great systems and I got to teach in the Philippines, there's a lot of great people out there, you don't see FMA mentioned prior to the 1960s really until it got revitalized here in the United States. So.
No, that's awesome. Good. Should we jump? We haven't heard from Mike and May too. We probably should jump to that.
Real quick, catching up. Dean put on, I'm assuming, what was Renee's show.
Yeah, so that's Maestro Jay's episode with Tom, which in fact
okay, so it's not Renee's. Yeah. Okay, all right. Renee's claiming that he gets 10 cents a view, but according to this, he's only had 15 views. That's why he keeps promoting this. Everyone, just to make him feel better, watch it. Okay, no, he's
wasn't 5 of them hit.
5 of them was him. Yeah, because he came in. He did Google, then he did Explorer, then he did Opera, then he did Firefox.
I'm gonna have to get him on again. I think he's feeling a little left out, so I'm gonna bring him on again.
Well, he's spending all his time on this show. That's the deal.
See that he doesn't have time to be on your show. He's on our show. Well, wait a minute. This is so Dean stepped away from FMA discussion to do personal thing. He still owns it. He's the CEO, but he's doing other things. He spent more time on this show since he's retired than he has on that show. It's just got
not by just coincidence, Yeah.
Do you guys have Discord?
I'm on Discord, but I hardly ever use it.
Okay, so Mike.
Oh, yeah. May's coming up.
Okay. Are you doing CLOT and FMA, or
as far as I know, I think so. We usually do it every year anyway. So
as far as I know, whatever Terry tells me to do, that's what
yeah. So that's no problem. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, look at that! 5 more shows, and I can get a cup of coffee. There we go. So, So I will say this for those who haven't met Mike and May. Okay, I at the risk of sounding like a snob, I travel and I've trained with some of the best in the world, I've seen Guru Dan a bunch of times, Bobby Tabuada, Remy Pracis, Ernesto, the Pracis brothers, Ted Buot, who was my teacher at Balintawak, not to be confused with Sam Buot, the guy who was supposed to be the successor for Anchon, and a whole other list to be like Dr. Mungji from Bondo, all this other stuff. Mal Morney, friggin' the guy's name, one of the biggest names in Silat. You know what? These guys are phenomenal. They are top tier people. I could see them on the floor with anyone. My mindset is like I don't sweat anyone around me. I sit there. I know that there's someone I can offer something to everyone. And when and I look at my, sometimes you can get in your own head and rattle a little, but to me, I'm just that level. I go, Mike and May, they've got everything that everyone else has got. Listen, I'm not saying they got every piece of material. What I'm saying is they got all the stuff that everyone else out there. It's just that certain people have a higher social media representatives out there. These guys are top tier. I love everything that they've done. I haven't seen. My body can't do the things that they can do because I'm old. But I can't do. I'm European. I'd be better off in HEMA the way my joints are working right now. Very upright, standing. I'll still do some stuff, but I can't do the Silat.
What form of Silat?
I can't be on the ground.
Oh, well, we train with William Detrois and the Kundal Silat, Uncle Bill, and then we also train in Indonesia, the Baringin Sakti and the Guru Edward Libby. We actually may send them another trip for maybe October, right, to go back to Indonesia and the Philippines. We go to the Philippines and train there too. Yeah. So, but awesome. So those two, groups we try to do a lot with. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, rodents, Dangerfield. That's guess who? That's
our
far
guy,
like
yeah.
we knew it was coming. This is the guy. We love him. He's in Michigan somewhere. Do I really want to do the one from Matt Jones?
I don't know where he's going with that.
I don't know. We'll okay. Is May a Datu?
No.
No. So once again, it came up again. This stuff never stops. I got another ass clown coming after me for Datu. First of all, I didn't promote myself. Remy promoted me. Secondly, if the word Datu is so sacred, you wouldn't have food products like Datu Puti vinegar and soy sauce and all this other stuff. You have bands that are using.
It's just a nail to
DJs
hang their
are
hat
using it.
on.
Shut the hell up. And you know what? From now on, if any of you are guys, if anyone's watching this, you got a problem. You should have complained to Remy when he was alive.
Yep.
Oh, but none of you had the backbone to do that, or maybe you weren't old enough to do that. So
well,
I'll tell you
and
what.
the other side of it too is that you're not the only Datu that he named. Like seriously,
I'm one of 6.
The thing is, it's his choice.
Well, there's the other thing too is
Amen.
Other Filipino systems use that term as well. We're not the only one. We may have been the first. Who knows? But the thing here is
not. Yeah, it's
well,
the same thing as far.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a lot of the other titles that are out there. They're usually like Tuhan is a chieftain title as well, right? Like it's
right.
Well, what they're trying to say is there's a Muslim thing, and I'm not Muslim, and I'm like, listen, it's a term in Filipino language. If you're not I'm Puti. I know that. If you're not Filipino, how would you know? Secondly, if you got a problem with this, come on the show and talk to me. None of this keyboard warrior stuff. I've had people threaten my life, threaten me to stick fights, and you know what? No one's come knocking on my door. Because I will say, someone comes knocking on my door, they're going to hear a not me pulling out a stick, or you won't hear a shing. That's cool. That's when I run out of ammunition. But the thing here is, all of these people talk. None of them have the balls to do anything. I can't tell you how many times I've been, if you come to Germany, I'll knife fight you. Well, where are you? I'm in Germany. And just like Remy used to have all these challenges. Well, wait a minute. You're 5 hours away. Why didn't you come and challenge me right here? Click. But the thing here is, anyone's got a question on that from now on? Come on the show.
Culturally though, culturally, though, there's this concept called amor proprio in the Filipino culture, which is this way that you don't make people look bad, you don't cause embarrassment, you don't do those things. I mean, like if you want to argue for culture, then follow the actual tenets of the culture. We as a people, Filipino Americans and Filipinos, are welcoming people and kind people, right? So why would you do that if you want to represent the culture, right? That doesn't make any sense to me, anyways.
Right.
All right, so let's get into some of these comments. I came from homework last week. I asked my wife why the neighbor was running down the street naked eating my cheese. Okay, that's what that road in Dangerfield. I think
that's where it goes. That's where it goes.
Exactly where it just goes down that road. There we go. Tish Tish Bivens, love Mike and May.
Yeah.
And they're looking forward to seeing you at the Buffalo camp this May.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rich Parsons. Munung Ted was the one asked to teach by Anshan Bakan, just to clarify. Yep. He taught at the club, and Anshan wanted Ted to teach and take over the art, but he ended up coming to the States instead. Here we go. She asked why I was home early and asking so many questions, I tell you. I get no respect. Okay, all right, there we go. Oops, match. No problem. Okay, here, Terrell, here we go. PG, thanks for allowing me to teach first so I could attend the autism event. We raised some good money. Great. And then...
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Maybe change the three. Dot three. You know what?
Or as Remy called me.
It's original.
Not to, you know, I mean...
It's original. You could get it, trademark that.
There you go. Or as Remy called me.
Chicken for you.
He called
and
me...
a spork.
Remy called me...
I'm not...
Tatai.
Yeah, there you go.
Tatai.
Tatai. Yeah. No, Remy used to call. Oh, Tatai, come here. Yeah. So, so I'm looking for, once again, if phenomenal CLOT and FMA practitioners, because a lot of times it's all melded together.
Yeah.
But really, it's Indonesian and Filipino, and they're top notch in both. The repertoire and that they have is just amazing. So quickly, give us the bullet points of the CLOT you trained.
Oh, so with Uncle Bill William Detroit, we try to go out every year to see him. We're going to go out in July and see him this year. He's 87 years old now. So we do the Kundao and the CLOT with him. He's done a lot of West and East Javanese CLOT. And then he does the old Chinese Kundao that from the master that brought it from China to Indonesia. Way back when it was the Dutch East Indies. That's how far back it goes back. And then we travel to Indonesia and do the Baringan Sakti, the Harimau Silat, the West Sumatran styles with Grandmaster Edward Libby. At the IPSI, at the Martial Arts College, we stay there and do a private lesson with them on his Silat. Both of them over, I don't know how many years now, over 20 years for both of them, I think. Yeah. And May's been setting up the trips ever since we met. Now, May comes from the same island as Professor Negros. Yeah.
Negros.
And so we get with two on Nene Tortau, Gubaton Brothers.
Which is the next question. What's your FMA bullet points?
Right.
Oh, yeah. On that one. So also Professor Grandmaster Marie Priestess, Grandmaster Jason Nene Tortau. May was just with him and Dean recently on the show.
I saw the show.
And he's 85 now, right, Tuan? Yeah, and then the Gubaton brothers. Grandmaster Abraham passed away, but Grandmaster Sabbath, his younger brother, who's 84 now. You get with him.
So, real quick, when are you planning on going out to see Uncle Bill?
July.
Yeah.
July 7. July 7.
Okay. I was going to see if I could.
Welcome.
I was going to see if I could come, but I'm going to be in Austria.
He's retired. He pretty much just teaches at his yard. So we go in his backyard and hang out there. May we'll cook up a storm later. We have a blast. Have a cookout that night.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm in Europe that weekend because I was going to talk to you about that. But
May tries to do it all the time. So you can, always schedule another time. Yeah. Get together.
All right. So Steve, I'm gonna pop over a little. Steve, tell us your background because for the viewers who have not met you before.
Let's see. I started probably my first FMA.
Great. Okay. So Dean, let's get
first FMA was probably like 78, 79. Met my karate instructor who was doing. Actually, he had supposedly practiced modern Chinese. And it was just prior to the Remy's book coming out.
Okay.
And then I kind of got hooked in that. And then Salat, he had brought me into Boston to one of his students' schools. And then from there, I just started picking up things. I met variety of people. Mike and May, we met in like 98, 99 when you had Nene out, and I was training with Tom Sotis under Mock, and then met Leo Gahe for Paquita Tertia. Went into Sayar Kali for many years. Met Ray Floro, and he really became a big influence on the way I train with Kalisa Lestrissimo and Floor Fighting Systems. And then continued on with a couple of other instructors. Going up and down the East Coast, I've met a dozen or so other, famous people, I guess you would say. And I just love learning. And that's why I'm like, when I got to meet Dean again, we had met many years ago. We kind of hooked back up, and it's just great. The vibe that we all play off each other is so nice. It's just that whole brotherhood, and there's no ego. I'm too old to have an ego now, I mean, I don't need that anymore. I don't have a big school. I used to teach seminars all over the place, but it's not about that. It's about making people have fun and building friendship and relationships with people that you meet. And that's how I love living life now, especially in the FMA world, right? There's too much, I'll just say it outright. There's too much bullshit out there, and, big egos, and, that's not what we're all about. So it's great to see all you guys, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you, Jason, and Ty. Now that's going to be your nickname every time I see you. You'll have to come up with one for me. I don't know, but I'm afraid. I'm actually afraid now, but yeah, it's been a great journey, and I've been training the martial arts since I was 10 years old. So, and I'm 58 now, so I've been around. Lots of fun though.
Another one who's 58.
There he goes.
Yeah.
He came back.
There's
Welcome back, Datu.
I'll be 58 on May 7th.
Congratulations.
My birthday is during the camp we do.
And me a month later.
Ooh, another one. Whoop, whoop.
I'm the
Dean
young
is
one, apparently,
actually
with all you guys.
75, But
No, actually, I'm turning 58 April 21st.
And Ty, when's your birthday?
6/6.
Okay, and then Carlos Patalinghug, he's also 57. So a whole bunch of us this year is our 58th.
Wow.
We should do a seminar.
People of the same age.
58 and up.
So the people I train with, we call ourselves the decrepit old dudes. So, it kind of fits. We're all up there now,
The hip replacement did kind of age me, so.
Yeah, I've been lucky with that so far.
Yeah, well, I got another one coming up. But anyway,
so, before we hit Dean, Jason he already told me he had a limited time tonight, so he's got to cut out.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll have to drop in a few minutes too. I have to pick up a call for work.
Understood. Understood. We'll talk about both you guys when you're here. That's fine.
Of course.
Of
course.
There we go. So, first of all, Jason and I, Anai Base, or at Instagram, it's Anai Base, Anian Base. My eyes are terrible. Where else could they? What's your website?
www.inayan-eskrima.com.
Cool.
INAYAN-eskrima with a K.com.
Eskrima with a K. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can change
There we go. Cool. So, Jason, looking forward to seeing you soon. I want to talk to some people about whether you need that transportation. Are you staying there, or are you going home afterwards right away, or are you going on the coast for a while?
I'm there till Sunday, and I'm bringing Patrick, if you remember him. So he'll be
I remember
the whipping boy. Yeah.
All right. So just in case you were going to stay on the East Coast for a while, I wanted to make sure we plugged that if that was the case. So
nope, not this time. The next thing I got is Vegas. I have an instructors camp in Las Vegas, May 20th.
Nice.
Yeah, Jason, when you're up on the East Coast anyway, just let us know, and we'll push it out to the to the circuit and everything. If we can get down wherever you are, let me know. We'll come try and travel.
Cool.
That'd be fun.
All right. So Jason, it was nice seeing you, and we'll catch you the next time around, which is in 2 weeks.
I'm here for 20 more minutes. 20 more minutes.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have more time. Okay.
You're not taking them off, are you, Tim?
Okay.
So, guys, I'm gonna jump off so I can get hooked up to this call up there. But hey, it's been great meeting all of you again. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Yes. Thanks, Steve.
All right, Steve.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
All right. So let's. Okay. Okay. Let me see
So
here.
Jason, I was going to say, I don't know if I told you last time we talked about, I had been hearing about NIN since the early 90s in the Eskrima Digest. A few people doing your style were fairly active on there, and that's lots of good stuff. And it started making me think, which I think is only a good thing. So I think I told you some of that before, but
that was hosted by Ray Terry. That was one of my dad's senior
Yes.
students, and it started out as the Nine Eskrima Digest, and then decided that it would be called Eskrima Digest. And my father and I would read and debate, and very rarely participate in those conversations. A lot of it is the same stuff today, like the title names and stuff like this. People spend more time talking about those things or their lineage. In the end, I don't know if you've ever used your art in real life. I was in law enforcement for a little while, so I used it on a regular basis for a while. And that guy never really cared who my teacher was or what my title was, or even if my technique was correct. He just didn't like it if it worked, and he liked it if it didn't work. That's all that mattered. And so I think people forget that. Like, we're each of us that teach, we're just trying to be stewards of a culture and pass it on as a way to honor our teachers. And part of that is honoring whatever title they decided to bestow upon us, if that's what they decided to do, whatever ranking they decided, and gave us trust to, make our own decisions too, right? It's unfortunate there's people out there that deny that of us somehow publicly, which is in effect denying it of themselves, which is the sad part, because you don't help the art grow that way.
Yeah. My first black belt, Dr. Jeff Leader, he actually met your father, and it was funny because walked in the seminar. Yeah, what do you do? Modern East. Oh, okay. Then at the end of the seminar, yeah, you can come back.
My dad was like that. I'm very similar. Like the story that you told before about like talking to me for 45 minutes. I did that to Rick, who does the colleague conversations. Did the same thing to him. Like we just. I was brought up like, if you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not here to introduce myself. I'm here to participate.
Right.
And that's the way my dad was. Like, oh, you're pretty good. You should keep training though. And it's not meant to be an insult. It was just like, keep doing it. Keep doing the good work.
Okay. All right. Let's get up some of the comments here. As a Filipino, I don't have a problem with someone who is Datu. Every club has its own ranking system, respect and discipline.
That's awesome.
Main tenets of martial arts. We can we can have an exchange of ideas, but not fight to see who is better. And once again, this is something that a Filipino put in place, and I just happen to be one of the recipients. So then here we go. Tim 2 may work. It's unique. There's Rocky, who was who was an avid user of Eskrima Digest with a K.
Yes, he was.
Or actually, I don't know if that was with a K or not.
It was with a K.
Okay. All right. Here, Terrell, to the panel, how much difference in blade work from CLOT to FMA? Well, I can't tell you. I don't have enough CLOT in me to tell you how much different the blade work is. I mean, I've done stuff with them all morning, but that's very limited. Mike, May, can you?
I think what's kind of funny is you'll see some stuff that might look different, and then when they do the applications, it's actually almost identical. So it's kind of funny. There's like a basic exercise, and we come up, we'll show you that set. But it's a basic exercise that he can expand to the 5 strikes. You know what I mean? So it's almost like crosses over, but it looks different at first. I would say something like that, maybe. There's so many different styles, but that's what it kind of looks like. A lot of times we'll see comparisons, maybe different terminology, different kind of exercise, but it crosses over. You'll see something and be like, oh, that's Cruzada or something, but it was we didn't see a lot.
Yeah, the Majapahit Silat is pretty much the same as far as the weapon use is concerned too. Like, it's really just taking into account, mass of the weapon, where the balance is. If the tang is a full tang, you can chop maybe. If it's a half tang stuck in pitch, probably don't chop, mostly stab. So it's more characterized by the tool set. I mean, you see that with like the differences in the karambits from the different, because they're not all the same. So they use them slightly differently. Like the karambit that comes from the Philippines is a much longer blade. It's not as much of a hook. So the use will be different, Yeah.
Cool. All right. Renee calling us a bunch of youngsters. Well, there you go. Yes, we are. And then guys just go Bob. Listen, Rocky, you're 1 year younger than me. Shut up. He's 56, turning 57. Stop it. Excellent excuses. I have to remember those. All right. Chad Bailey, sounds like you want to. You all have a blast, have fun, and great training. We always do. Oh, Mr. Lohman, love it. Hi, troublemakers. That's it. That's really it. It's not really the rank. I had a teacher recently tell me sometimes the rank is not symbolic of what your current skill is, but is what your teacher wants you to grow into. Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes it's the teacher saying. Sometimes it's the teacher saying, "Hey, I want everyone else to follow this example." Like Grandmaster Priest is calling you Dr. Tim. It's like, "Hey, I want you to follow this person's example. This is the example that I want you to follow." Because the rank isn't. My dad used to say, "Rank isn't for you; it's for all the students that are following after you."
I've always said that I don't need a belt. I don't need a title. I don't need any of that stuff. It's for my students. It's not for me. So if this has been one of the things we've talked about recently, where people who are becoming grandmasters who have not produced black belts or let alone masters, why are we promoting people if you're not producing people? If all I had was a backyard club, which is how I started after I left my school, none of us need rank. We know who number one is, and the rest is but it's the team. Okay, right. I'm the instructor. But even when I was doing that, we were a team. It was never I'm better than you. It's like someone's got to take point. Yeah, I know the material. I'm teaching you the material. So the more material you know, the better I'm going to get too. And the whole team, we don't want any weak links on the team. And if that means the rest of the team is beneath me, there's the weak link. It can't be me. It's got to be the whole team. If the team is the quarterback, the team will never win. So yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Dan, for sharing that. Gets me on my mini rants. In my circle, your rank actually means squat. If you have skill, it great teach us. If you're a dick, stay away. No matter
language
how good you are. He could be Richard. Dick, Richard, it's either way.
Okay,
what are your thoughts on the typical American combat sports rank of coach? I've got no problem with that either. I actually want to teach some of the guys actually locally. I have some of the local school owners training with me, and I go, yes sir, because they're come back from the Korean mindset and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to say I'm your teacher. I'm your coach. Okay, coach. All right. And it was still down there, but I mean, I don't ask people to do this. And when I'm in my day class, it's mostly black belts from other systems. So it's Tim, my night class, I got kids and teens in there, got to do a different route. But I have no problem with coach. It's just a word. I mean, that's what, was. And then
I can see that point of view of like you're coaching people through things. At the same time, I tell people when they call me, I'm like, I'm not really a coach. I'm not going to be able to coach you on how best to win a sporting match. That's not the thing that I do if that's what you're looking for. So I kind of make that mark. You can see how I would be coaching you, right? But at the same time, I'm not interested in whether you win by points, or you get the medal or the trophy or the belt or whatever that is. Yeah. It's not where my concentration is.
All right. So I went to the eye doctor. I said, "Doctor, I don't look right." He said, "Your face is not the problem. Your eyes." Wait. Okay. My glasses are too dirty and they need to be replaced. Can you get this one? And then we want to talk to Mr.
Sure.
Dean.
So Harold chimes in again. Remember, black belts are also white belts who do not surrender and quit. Ranks are given to recognize the experiences, time spent, and level of knowledge. Sure.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, and we say it all the time.
You got to keep a white belt mentality.
We talk about this amongst ourselves all the time. A black belt is just an advanced beginner. And, I'm constant. It's been a while because COVID put the kibosh on a lot of things, but I was constantly putting on new white belts, doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I did my down, my Sikran, just all these different things because I want to be told this is wrong. I want to be held accountable. Now I'm doing it in the business world. So with my Maya coach, like, no, that's not the way to do it, Tim. You should do it this. Okay, all right, gotcha. And it's, even though it's not my martial arts, it's still nice and refreshing to be learning even if I picked up guitar, it's something in my life I need to be told this is wrong. Where if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm doing something wrong, who's going to call me on it? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't feel comfortable or wouldn't know enough whether to call me on it.
I'm a big proponent. If you're not learning, you're dying inside slowly. You need to always be learning. Sorry.
Yeah. And ranks are for sale at times. Yes, there we go. I just want to be held. Sometimes black belts are white belts with more money than the standard white belt. Okay. All right. So Dean, because we got sidetracked because I thought Jason had to leave earlier than he did. But we got rid of Steve. So I mean Steve had to leave. My bad. The subterfuge. It was all a plan to get rid of Steve. Tell us about your background for those who haven't been around.
So, like most of us, started traditional Taekwondo and saw the first UFC. So Ron Kozakowski, who lives in Connecticut, at that time was really the only school as far as what was construed as the eclectics. Back then he was offering BJJ, Kung Tao, and Anasana blend at that time. So I went down there for the MMA, not really knowing that I would find my true love. So I went down there for that and went to a makeup class in Kung Tao, and he was doing sticky knife, and rest is history. I continue with BJJ and all that, still do. But really, my major is definitely, FMA. But ironically, it was Kung Tao first before I even swung a stick.
But you got a pretty good list of credentials in your FMA. I mean, why don't you share the group? I mean, you've got. I mean, I'll start the ball rolling. Burton Richardson. I don't know many people. There's a bunch of people who are certified from Burton. I don't know many of them in my life. So you're one of the few that I've actually met. What was the guy from Cincinnati, Ty, that we went to the seminar?
Oh yeah. He's oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank now, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's like the only guy. You guys are the only. Yeah, I think that was Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
And then a Rich Bopit at one time up in Canada who actually put the two. I put Burton and Rich together. But I mean, there, in my circles, you're the only one that I'm really hanging with these days. And not that I'm not, it's just that our circles cross where some of the others don't.
So again, went down there. So I was in Kung Tao before I even did like FMA. And so through there, I got into the Anasana blend, more through the Vunak lineage.
Okay.
And then from there, I just loved it, and that's when I really started gravitating and really towards knives. So I went with Sayak and Atienza.
Okay.
I was with them for years, and had my school, and I had kind of a break, like far as being a student. But I missed being a student, so I got rid of the school, and then jumped full back into student capacity, which was.
Now you had a fairly decent sized school though, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was really an experiment. It was really an MMA program with basic punches, kicks, your takedowns, your grappling, and then it was supplemented with an FMA. Carl Atienza said, "Look, why don't you do a kids program?" And this is way back in 2002. I said, sure. So that's when Action Flex 6 kind of came out. So there was a lot of stuff that kind of came out at the same time. And so we did it. It went really, really well. We kind of did a pilot program with a few kids just to see if there was anything to this. And then they did extremely well. So we made it mainstream throughout the entire school program. Yeah. So I had up to 200 students, a couple satellites. And in 2012, it was 10 years of it, and I was just missing like learning and just getting information, and my own development was stagnated. And so I jumped back in, with, I believe it was Burton first, actually. Yeah. And then Abenir. I like what he was doing, and it was the closest thing to KI I could get or find anybody. And then from Abenir, I met Tom Sodas Amok. I'm still with him. Still long, actually. And then jumped into KI and with Brendan Ricketts. And now I'm still doing that and trying in Lameco.
Nice. Now
That's a good mix.
Yeah. So let me get this caught up here. Actually, there's only one, and that's. Then we see this: experience and passion are the best qualifiers. Yep. Boom. Okay, so you've been to a whole bunch of things from different backgrounds. I mean, different style systems. Like, you've been to Chad Bailey's camp. You've been to other different events where multi-styles going on. How does this event compare to those other events? Knowing that this is not an FMA exclusive event, but an FMA inclusive.
Yeah. Well, when you look at, Chad's is definitely more on the FMA. I mean, there are other styles that come in there that are not FMA related, but predominantly it is FMA. And Chad, again, everybody's heard me say this, runs a wonderful camp, and that kind of same mentality. There's no egos. Everybody just really works together well in there. And I found, granted, last year was only my first year there, but the exposure and experience was wonderful. Like, I didn't feel that egotistical, attitude from anybody. Everybody was pretty open and friendly. So that was refreshing. So on a much larger scale than Chad's, I thought it was incredibly well run. I think Terry you heard on when we just did the show together with you. I think Terry just does an incredible job with it. Knowing what he's got to plan it and coordinate an amount of time it must just to create that schedule in there. So I think those two, Chad's and the one coming up, really emulate that whole people coming together regardless of styles, working together, piggybacking off one another, sharing and all that. I just think it's really illustrated there beautifully. Unfortunately, there's some other events that they're not like that. To touch on PJ Ties, I think it's incredible that he had 50 to 60 people there last weekend. That is incredible. Connecticut, that would be a tough sell. I think it's great that he was able to do that. I mean, that's so refreshing to hear.
Well, let me add. You don't know because you haven't tried, because this is not a paid event. It's a donation event. Right. So people kick in about $10 a head, $20 a head.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not like it's a little different.
It's pretty doable, and it does stress the family side. I will also say that I was surprised. I keep finding more and more FMA folks in the area that I didn't even know about. So we actually get more people because people will come and share their piece, and that's exactly what I want. So we have everybody from Valentois, Doce Pares, Modern, Kitty, Senator Siwali, all sorts of folks. It's great.
And he's got more than Virginians there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm
pretty coming down from Maryland and other states because they're real close to each other.
Yeah, DC. But if you look at Connecticut, though, I mean, it's still the same case. I mean, we border Massachusetts, we border Rhode Island, we border New York. I mean, so it's not like, it's just, and I don't know what to attribute to it exactly, but I'm still going to keep at it and try to make something successful there.
Has anyone tried to do an event like that where they're just making like a $10 donation for food and
like a picnic?
No, honestly, I'm not aware of anybody's tried that. I tried it, but we weren't doing donations. But perhaps that's the way to go. I'm fine with doing that. If that will make for a great event with everybody coming there, and if it's donations, so be it.
It was just. You know, the big thing that the biggest expense probably is the shelter rental, right?
Yeah, that's usually 2/3 of the expense.
You know?
Yeah, we get school. The nice thing up by here is there are a couple of schools I could utilize virtually for free. So really, it would just be getting the word out. So I'm gonna have to talk to Ty and basically get some ideas.
I would, and here's the thing: this is something in the park, and I think that's a whole nother vibe too.
That could be. Oh yeah, maybe
because
like
it's barbecuing and stuff like that. You know,
that's true. That does that. Yeah, that's a nice aspect.
Here's what I'll tell you. You schedule it properly. I'll come out.
Okay. Yep.
Awesome.
I'll be there to help you. And listen, and I'll do it on my own dime because you know what? There's recruitment events, and then there's enrichment events or retainment events, and this is about retention for our people. So.
Exactly. I mean, right.
And it's on the show, and I can't bleep myself. Well, actually, I can bleep this out later.
Good.
Well, no.
Yeah,
I will now. The fact that
Takesy backsies.
You've heard my intro.
All right. So, cookout, multi-style.
Here you go. Renee said he'd go down there too, even though you have a lot of graveyards.
And
there we go.
Tim Hartman.
I'll come out. I've got no problem doing that. Okay, let me see here.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Pigbacks are rather weak. Be careful of piggy. Okay, whatever. I'll be hosting a fun raiser.
Yes, I do.
More swords.
They're on the floor. I swear to God, I do.
Pennies a day. You can help team get a real sword collection.
What was it when they were up there? The rack was starting to, and it's one of those
you got to put it in a stud
because
I'd help you with the stud finder, but it would keep pointing at me. So, anyways, on that note, Arms of Angel soft play. All right, Renee, I think it's all the way to the graves of Connecticut. Freak people out. Okay, I will try to make it if you do it. Okay, Renee says he'll try to make it. You know, and I tell you what, Renee, if it's easier for you. You drive to Buffalo, and we'll carpool out there.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
You know, it might be quicker for him to go up the other way. I don't know, because he can go by Montreal.
Where's Renee? Where's Renee located?
Toronto. Yep. Metro.
But he's in that whole area with everybody else there. Okay.
No, well, he's up by me ish. I'm Canada South. He's
I
Buffalo
thought he was
North.
north of Toronto, unless I'm mistaken.
What's north of Toronto?
I thought he was north of Toronto. Unless I'm mistaken.
No, Craig Mason. So Craig Mason and who knows if he's in Milton. Okay, so
Craig is in though too.
Oh, look, Craig would drive, and if Renee could be picked up,
there you go. There you go.
So we'll have the Can-Am crew coming out.
I tell you, it'll be like the Canadians coming down.
But that's the thing. This is just an example of the grassroots nature. This is exactly.
I can't tell you how many times. Everyone tells me, you're not from, I said, where are you from? New York. Buffalo, New York. Oh, no, that's why you sound Canadian. I'm like, I spend more time in Canada than I do in the States at times. So.
But I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, again, to meet.
There we go. Another event is just spawned. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm looking forward to it. This what's coming up here to meet, Maestro Jason and see what he has to offer. That's going to be really neat. Because I don't, unfortunately, some of the shows that Tom did, I would catch pieces and all that. But with everything else going on and doing the other shows and downloading and putting on YouTube, sometimes I just wouldn't get the time to actually see the whole show. So it'd be nice to finally, get to meet him in person. I have to bring my the book for him.
Let's do another show at this symposium.
We can do some live broadcast. We'll definitely do some live broadcast.
We actually that idea did go up, and I was more than happy to do it. All I needed to, I'm just bringing my laptop with there.
We'd love you to if you could do that FMA discussion, because I think you have a broader range than we have. So so Renee is an hour and a half from Buffalo, and a 5-hour ride and that's Tim is like 12 hours because he goes with Tim. So this is what I get all the time. I get no respect.
All right, folks, I got to jump off. I got a class to teach. Thank you so much for inviting me. I look forward to meeting everyone.
I look forward to seeing you.
Safe travels.
Don't forget everyone, October 7th, the Grand FMA seminar.
You guys do one, yeah.
You guys in.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
There you
go.
See you soon.
That one?
Bye.
So that's the one with.
Yes, October 7th.
That's the one I'm teaching at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
don't
yeah.
forget that one.
October
yeah.
7th.
All right, now listen. Okay, I'm gonna take Jason out there. I'm gonna kick him out.
Oh, you guys are all too big now.
Okay, kick from the studio. Okay, so Mike and May, I definitely need to hang on before we go. We're gonna shut the show down. Stay in the background because I have to ask you a question. And that's about it. Do we have anything else we're really?
People
No, I
should
do,
go to the symposium. Everybody
I
needs
do
to
got
go
a
to the
question for
symposium.
you, Tim. I can send it to you via Messenger, though.
Okay, well, or we can wait a couple minutes after the show, unless it's a one-on-one type thing, and I got to talk
No,
about something.
no, it's definitely not one-on-one. No.
Let me see. Let me put Martial Arts Symposium. I want to pull this up.
Yep.
So if you look up Martial Arts Symposium on Facebook, I'm going to bring this up as we speak. Okay, window, boom, share. This is it. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, there's Ty. Look at that. Look at that grimace.
I know. It's looking pretty angry there.
Looks like someone's getting a rattan enema there. I don't know. But anyways. Oh, look at that. Look at that lovely face there. We got May Williams, and then there's Mike. Well, then there's Mike. You know, whatever. Oh, Dean Branco. You're right there.
It's gonna be great
All
too.
right. Then I knew somebody. That's why I'm front row center.
There you go.
Boy, yeah.
There we go. It is.
That's when the check went out, right?
So it is the Waterville Valley Convention Center in Waterville Valley, New Hampshire.
Yes.
Really
nice.
Here you go. You just go right here. Reach out to Terry Dow. And if you're an instructor and you're bringing people, there is an incentive program to help you with that. So we can talk to Terry about that. We'll get into that. But he makes sure that people who support him, he supports back.
And even if you can't, organize it ahead of time, if you show up last minute, he can accommodate that too, as far as attending. So yeah.
So what is a Suro? I don't know if Suro. We should have asked why. Well, Jason is here.
I mean, there's a lot of dialects in Philippines. That's, I think.
Is that the same thing as Guro?
I think so.
Miss
But
May?
Jason would tell us for sure. But
I'm not sure. That probably.
Well, listen, he is an instructor, so it would be in the similar family as Guro.
Yep.
The Filipino version of like Sensei or Sifu or something along those.
And his father's title was Manji Susuro, if that helps you figure it out, May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then Nathan Porter gives us the thumbs up.
Nate.
Nate.
And we can practice more Tagalog when I'm there, right, May?
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, and maybe Mike will actually
I'm gonna
learn
ruin
something.
it. I'm gonna. Just kidding.
Maganda gabi. Let's see. See, all I have to do is say like 3 words and I show up Mike. It's awesome. Woo, hey everybody. That's what Nathan Porter says.
Hello, Nate.
So other than people getting there, I guess they probably don't have any last minute questions, but now's the time to sneak it in before we close out. Do you guys have anything else to say as far as what you want to do, who you want to see, what you want to cover, how we want to work together?
Nathan Porter's a ninja. Just for the record, he is like a crazy ninja, and he's jumping around like he's awesome. Dude, I love this guy. I wish I had his athleticism.
Yeah.
And there he is. He's good looking too, which makes me really hate him. And then John Savage says,
Nate.
And, he is really good people. So this is the type of diversity. So listen, here we go. Okay, I'm an FMA guy. I go to an event. I go to hang out with the FMA guys, and I get to see everything else.
Right.
All right, and I don't get in trouble for it, which you shouldn't, because if you're the one paying for lessons, you're the one in charge.
Yep.
Stop that shit. Oh, my instructor won't let me go see someone. Well, if you're paying them, and it's like belonging to multiple gyms, but that's another story.
Right.
And Nathan, he thought that's funny, so.
Nice.
Better be a check in the mail for that one, Nathan. Better be a check. Is Guru equal to 3rd degree black? So Guru is instructor, just in general.
So it depends on the style. Sometimes there is a degree level requirement. Most
in modern there wasn't.
Right.
I was a Guru as a blue belt because I passed the instructor's course.
Right. I was a Guru at green.
There you go. So, but generally in modern, you were supposed to be a black belt in something else first. So, but I wasn't. But that's okay.
And I think in WMA, it's Guru at was it first, second? I can't remember.
Officially, we do Guru at a second degree because a black belt. So the browns up to and including first degree black belt is considered an apprentice instructor. And then what we do is at second degree, that's when we first officially. But a lot of times when you become a black belt, we're like, okay, Guru. It just be
And it gets messy all down the line too. I'm sure you're familiar with it, Matt. Like Punon Guru, it can be in some styles it's the grandmaster, some styles it's just head instructor, some styles it's master. Whatever.
Yeah. So like with me, Remy told me. So
you're a ping pong guru.
I'm a ping pong guru. Yeah. So I asked him one day, somebody was using the term Punon Guru. And I asked him, what does that mean? He goes, well, Tim, you're one. Well, what do you mean? No, I'm not asking to be one. He goes, you produced a guru. You produced several gurus, and that made you Punon Guru. Now, I know a friend of mine, the late Rudy Casico in Toronto, was Guru Rudy forever. Once he produced his first guru, he became Punon. He started using the term Punon Guru. So, others in other styles, it's the grandmaster. It just means head instructor or head, whatever. Oh, Renee, here we go. What are the ranks in your modern Kali system?
Yeah.
Who's
modern Kali?
That's what I was going to ask. Who's modern Kali? Sorry, Renee.
Listen, if you're identifying as a Kali practitioner, that's fine, but you're still just cosplaying. There is no such thing. But anyway.
There's one Bapak the Tuas used in Indonesia, which we're doing right now. He calls it Paguruan, which is all of us together as teachers coming together. Paguruan. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
What I liked in our Lanata Kuntao is, and I don't know the dialect because some people here, all the men called each other Kyud, and we called the women Kyudai. And, like I said, I'm not sure the dialect, but my teacher told me that that's brother and sister. Grandmaster Lanata, we would call him Papa, because he was our father. We were all brothers and sisters.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Grandmaster Mark de Leon, who you met, if I'm not mistaken, Ty.
Mm-hmm. No, I did not meet him. No.
Oh, okay. We just called each other, I was, Cued Tim, Cued Mark. That was it. Okay. We had that family. And I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly what dialect that is, but
I mean, there's so many words of family.
People can say like everybody like me. If it's older than me, like no older, I call it tatay and stuff,
right.
or uncle or tito,
Sure,
or tío.
So Renee, is PG a title given to you? So it all depends on how you do things. So when I asked Remy, he said I was one. That being said, he only gave one other person a diploma with the Punon Guru, and that was Marlene Hafano. But going by what he said, once you produced a guru, that would make you Punon Guru if you were following that protocol. In our system, we've decided that Punon Guru being head instructor, we tie that into 5th degree black belt. So Mike, which I always say gurus, Mike and May, because I put them together as a pair, as partners.
Team.
They're a team, but not a team because I wear black, but that's another stuff. But Mike was, I don't know what his other acknowledgments were, but the World Modern East Alliance acknowledges Mike Williams as one of the Punon Gurus. So, which we at the camp last year, that's what we do. But I don't refer to him that way because the Williams family is an equal team. And until they tell me that they prefer to go by another title, I always just put down gurus, plural, because it's instructors.
Still a guru, yeah.
Mike and May Williams, because it's easier. Because when I put all that other stuff, then I can't have space on my poster with their whole thing. Ergo, when you look at our set, it says all of our last names. It has none of our first names in the flyer.
Yeah.
That's good.
We save you space.
Cute and cutie. What is cute and cutie?
For cued and cudai.
Cute and cudai. Yes.
Right, cute. KYUD.
Cute and cudai sound familiar to you at all?
Me or?
Yeah, I mean cute. I mean like a different interpretation of cute.
KYUD.
Cutie.
Cute.
Kudai. Okay. Or like Lex and his family, they call everybody kapatid.
Kapatid,
Yeah,
yes.
in my dialect, we call it utod, is your sister or brother. That's in general term utod. Or in Tagalog, is kapatid.
Okay.
Okay.
So Renee, yeah, you could call yourself. I mean, if you're the head instructor,
By definition,
Punan Guru, you know,
it's just a translation. Yeah.
it's just a translation because I don't think there's any cultural. I don't think there's a cultural thing attached to it. I think what happened. Okay, so we'll go back to the Datu thing. I'm not going to call. There's multiple DJs in the Philippines that go by Datu and their name.
Yep.
There's a rock band called Datu's Tribe.
It's like Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash, you know. So there's a whole bunch of people. There's Datu music out there. There's all this stuff that's going on for bands and stuff like that. If it was such a strong cultural thing, I doubt very much anyone in the society would be using it outside the context they're talking about. But it's you know, first of all, any word in Filipino dialect doesn't automatically become Muslim because at one time the majority of the Filipinos were Muslim.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make it a Muslim thing. It's a Filipino thing. You know, and I think there's a lot of people. I know for me, I've got a target on my back, and people always start playing the Muslim card. And it's like, well, that's a minority over there in the Filipinos. Yep. And in Indonesia and Malaysia, which I've talked to people from Indonesia and Malaysia, Datuk is Indonesian. And usually I had actually had a guy from Verizon come in. He's from Indonesia. And I was like, your title is Datu? I go, well, it means chief in Filipino. Oh, you know, and then we started talking about Indonesian. I go, yeah, no, actually, no. Yeah, you would have to be in service to the royal family. It's like being knighted and all this. And actually, Remy told me Datu was like being knighted. So I am Sir Tim. Goes with Monty Python. And the Great Wizard Tim, not to confuse the other wizards.
Right.
The Grand Wizards. That's
and I should say you said that right. You said it correct.
There we go. Look at that. Boom.
Okay.
All right. So listen, let's all meet in New Hampshire in 2 weeks.
Yes.
If you have any questions on it, talk to one of us. We'll get you in contact, whoever you need to. Bring sticks, training knives.
That's right.
And a whole bunch of other stuff. I know I will have merchandise to sell. Mike and May will probably have merchandise to sell. Dean, will you have anything to sell?
I'm being told by then. I'm hoping. Matter of fact, I have to talk to Nora, but FMA discussion search should be done.
There we go. I was hoping to see that. Ty, I don't know if you have anything.
I don't, but who knows? I might print up some tchotchkes to give away.
There we go. And then, yeah, don't be surprised what's going on. You never know who's going to show up. Okay, and I said this before. Great show tonight. Thanks. I didn't say that. That's Steve. Okay, so we got sidetracked. It's probably the dogs. You know, I'm working on building a studio downstairs away from the dogs. So if that worked out well, then I won't have less distraction. The thing about the FMA Invasion, we are a group of people who specialize in Filipino martial arts. There are other people who are certified in Filipino martial arts that will be at the event, and sometimes they teach. And I know of one person will be teaching some form of Filipino martial arts. They're not part of the invasion because they're not because they're being snubbed. The invasion is something we created a while ago, and this was already set up, and it's about the people who specialize in it. When some people were asking, not me, Mr. Terry, about everything, you know, and this group is specifically a team that was put together, and you need to know the password. No, but this is the people who specialize in it. So like someone who's very good, Ryan Chamberlain, he does Silat through Bruce Chutnick, phenomenal martial artist, really good with the stick. It's not a specialty. His Kyoshuru is the specialty. You know, you look at Chris LaCava, he's doing the multi-style system of Bahalana. He's a very skilled practitioner. It's not his specialty. He's Hapkido, and he does a lot of the combat medic stuff. You look at
Nathan's there too, right?
What? Who?
Nathan Marinone, is he there?
Nathan's going to be there.
Yeah.
You've got who does a lot of Silat and Wing Chun. You got Tony DeSaro.
Yep.
Here's another one. Phenomenal practitioner. He is a Kyoshu guy first and foremost. So
is Hanshi Bruce coming?
What?
Is Hanshi Bruce coming?
Hanshi Bruce will be there.
Awesome. Cool.
So this is the group that specializes in FMA, and that's how this thing came up. So do comic medical. Yeah, I do comic medical. Yes, I can figure that.
There you go.
All right. So
Dean, you got any last go backs? You've been quiet lately.
No, I'm just getting bombarded with messages, of course.
Okay. Just want to make sure you didn't feel,
Here's another one.
No. The fact that I have the official title of backup to you, really, it's fine. So
new and improved backup.
Yes. No, I'm looking forward. I'm just not actually know what I was thinking about what Jay brought up, and I'm just trying to think if it'll be feasible where I could do interviews there, and I think it could happen. It would just have to be. Actually, I don't know when it would just have to be, because Saturday night obviously is a banquet, so I'm just trying to think ahead, like when it would be feasible to get all of us and do it. Obviously, there's going to be internet.
It'd have to be Saturday because I don't know how long Steve's going to be there. So Steve has family and work commitments. He usually shows up
Can't
Saturday.
Be after the banquet. It's going to be late. I mean, it would have to be. Yeah, you guys are all going to be up there Friday night, right?
I am.
Well, yeah, a bunch of us will be there. We'll be getting there on Friday.
That might be. Yeah, I don't know.
And we can just do like live posts. I mean, I just don't
figure out something. But you need though to kind of get because Jay being there. Well, I don't know.
You can do it individuals, right? Just as catch can. You do it individual with Jay, individual with whatever.
Yeah, what I could do is I could just circulate you guys in.
Yeah, that should.
That should work. I could just
because we're not all teaching all the time.
Yeah, that's all.
Nice. Okay, so Rich Parsons. Hi, Dean.
Good. Nice.
I like what you shared at the event a few weeks ago online. There you go.
Yeah, I missed that, unfortunately.
Oh, yes. I think it showed some KI.
Yeah, I laughed. Always keeps the stick. Okay, all right.
You got to have fun.
All right. So listen, if you guys can hang out, we're going to wrap things up. Looking forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. Yep. But stay on, and then I'll be going here. So boom, boom, boom. All right. So Ty, another interesting show.
Yeah. No, it was great to see Jason again. That was awesome, and the whole gang. I'm looking forward to in a couple weeks here. Less than a couple weeks.
I need to get the studio downstairs going, but it's probably going to be another 6 months to a year because of all the stuff I got to do first.
Yep.
The dogs are a pain, so okay. And Dean says thank you. I enjoyed it. Okay, good. So next week's show, we're going to be talking about the Praces brothers and their relationship, and I don't want to ruin the show, but once again, whatever it is, and I'm not talking about the Praces family, it could be anything else. When we open up our mouths, we should think about the people we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So when I talk about Remy, Ernesto, and anyone who's no longer here who can't speak for themselves, I do not want to say anything that is going to compromise their legacy. And you listen, there's people out there who I think are total pieces of shit. But you know what? When they die, their family members are going to miss them. Mm-hmm. I've got reasons I could tell you and go through why these people are wastes of DNA and they're scum of the earth. But the thing here is someone in their circle loves them. Mm-hmm. Who am I to say something that gets out to these people and compromises that memory? I know for a fact that a lot of people say, oh, Remy was my best friend. Right. He was your best friend. You weren't his. Who am I to tell someone that?
Right.
It's not my place to. And why would I tarnish someone's memory?
Yep.
So this is what next week's show is going to be about.
There you go.
And hopefully I won't throat punch somebody. Because if I did on the screen, I'd break my screen.
There you go. I do have one sort of go back. You'll usually check and see if I got anything. I only got one little thing to say. I might meet Datu Bong Friday. Carl Minkle's school is bringing out a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing, and Bong Hernandez will be.
Nope.
Oh, sorry. Shashir. Sorry. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Shashir Nakalo Friday is going to be at Carl, and it's going to be in Mount Airy, Maryland.
Right.
Was it Karate America or something like that?
AKA or something like
ATA,
that. But Carl Minko is the guy. Hit up him. I'm going to
If
go out
you
there Friday
can't-
night.
If you can't reach out to us, we can put you in contact.
Yeah,
with them.
absolutely, yeah. So I'll be out there Friday night.
Yeah.
I'll put a name, a face to a name. Hopefully,
The first Datu.
he was the first. Okay,
The
that's
first
what
modern
I'm
Indie
trying to
Datu.
remember. Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, always a pleasure, my friend, and great event you had this weekend. We got to do more of them out there like that. As always, this is a pleasure. Everyone, please stay safe and stay sane. This is Dr. Tim.
PG Tide. Take care, everyone.
And see you all soon.